On the night of July 17, 2025, the city of Ankara was hit by a sudden storm that, in a matter of minutes, turned its streets into violent rivers. With no prior warnings or clear weather alerts, the Turkish capital was overwhelmed by a massive surge of water that swept away everything in its path. As evening fell and rush hour began, the sky darkened abruptly, and an intense downpour began hammering every corner of the city. Drivers became trapped in traffic, unable to move as the water level rose at an alarming rate. The districts of Kioranin and Kichien were among the hardest hit. In those areas, the water moved so quickly that the drainage systems completely collapsed. Entire streets vanished beneath the muddy, raging water. Cars were dragged downhill like paper boats, crashing into each other or getting stuck in impossible corners. Ground floors of many buildings were fully submerged, and residents living there had no time to react. Some were trapped inside their homes, surrounded by an unstoppable current that left no margin for error. Images that began circulating on social media revealed the chaos of that night. Cars floating out of control, metro station entrances turned into waterfalls, and people wading through waist-deep water across major avenues. The public's frustration was evident. How can the capital flood like this? Many asked. It wasn't Istanbul, but the disaster looked just as severe. Criticism of the city's infrastructure came swiftly and justifiably. A modern city should not collapse under a few hours of rain. Amid the emergency, firefighters and rescue teams did everything they could to reach the worst-hit areas, despite blocked roads and impassable routes. In the Adnan Manzara neighborhood, within the Casuran district, the situation became especially critical. Many families were trapped, and dozens of pets drowned in the floodwaters. 2 children were swept away by the current, but were rescued just in time thanks to the swift action of brave neighbors who didn't hesitate to dive into the water. The disaster extended beyond the central neighborhoods. In Kazulkam, Kioranin, Kichien, and Salim, the storm came with hail. Ice pellets pummeled rooftops and vehicles while the rain formed ponds in the middle of the streets. The force of the water, combined with hurricane-like winds, uprooted trees in the districts of Kazulkam and Shinakaya. In Kinjimama, part of a building's roof collapsed. The scene was devastating, and the city appeared to have been struck by a force it couldn't predict or control. The municipal government responded by deploying more than 1,800 vehicles and over 2,000 workers into the streets to manage the emergency. Their mission: to rescue trapped residents, clear the roads, and begin cleanup efforts as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, the General Directorate of Meteorology warned that intermittent rainfall would continue into the next day, bringing renewed risks of flooding, hail, and damaging winds. The crisis exposed a deeper issue that Ankara can no longer afford to ignore. Unchecked urban sprawl, excessive concrete coverage, clogged storm drains, and a lack of investment in drainage infrastructure form a dangerous combination. This time, it was a storm that lasted only a few hours. What will happen when one arrives that's stronger or lasts longer? The city is clearly unprepared to face extreme weather events that, according to experts, will become increasingly common due to climate change.